So we are here at Marlow Family ATV in Marlow, New Hampshire. Name is Family ATV. I like that. This is a fantastic little place. Rode here a few weeks ago. The reason why I don't have the girls with me is I think their machines would get caught a lot on the rocks and roots and stuff that's here. It's a little bit more of a technical place than I think they would be okay with. Probably less about skills, more about just the fact that I think their machines would get stuck constantly. And you will see what I'm talking about. But this place is super fun. Great trail system. I had a blast the last time I was here. There's some technical sections, a few little faster sections. Very fun. It was a little more, obviously more wet last time. The rain has almost settled down a little bit. Not fully, but got a new set of tires on today. Went with the GBC Grim Reapers 28 by 10 on 14-inch stock wheels. Square setup. That's what comes with the Grizzly Special Edition and the XTR. So I didn't have really a preference for square setup versus not, but since that's what came with it, front and back wheels are both the same, so figured I'd keep with that. I did not like the Maxxis Zilla tires that came with it. Not necessarily for the fact that they weren't good tires turning, and they were great, good trail tires. For me, they stopped like crap. I think it's just the way the lugs are aligned. They're more front to back, which is great for cornering, probably digging into the mud, but I felt like it took me forever and a day to get the ATV to stop if I needed to on those tires. So I'm running them 5 psi. We'll see how that does. They seem pretty good so far. They are 10-inch width, which is the same as the Zillas, but these are definitely wider than the Zillas, and I don't know if the Zillas are just not 10-inch wide tires, or these are wider than 10-inch tires. I don't know, but these certainly stick out farther than the other ones. So far, they feel great. Yeah, forward traction is way better on these than the Zillas. I think there's just more rubber on the ground. All right. So I don't know if you can see. That's the parking lot where the star is. I just came down this trail right here. Gonna hang a right. So again, not too bad. Maybe I'm making it out to be worse than it is. I'd like to take the kids here and give it a try. If you've seen any of my last videos, my 8-year-old Emma rides a Can-Am Renegade 70 3.8 or so inches of ground clearance in the back underneath the sprocket guard. And Quinn rides a Grizzly 90, also about 4 inches of ground clearance. Yeah, these tires give a much more comfortable ride too. I can just notice that the tire conforms to the rocks and the roots a little bit more, and I just think it's just more volume in the tire, which just lends itself to being a little bit more, I shouldn't say flexible. It's an 8-ply tire, so it's definitely not a light tire. And sometimes it's just the way the tire's built too that's alright. Short loop back, let's do that. This Grizzly, man, it's just so much torque. You know, you always worry about, you know, heavier tire. These Grim Reapers are certainly heavier than the Maxxis Zillas. I would guess probably by about 6 pounds. You always worry about losing some performance, acceleration, but I think with a machine like this, you're just not going to notice that. The low end torque is just incredible. So again, this is Marlow, New Hampshire, which is just north of Peterborough. I live in Harvard. It took me about an hour and a half to get here, but it's all back roads. But you know, sometimes I like is towing with the truck. I get better gas mileage when I just cruise at 45 miles an hour. The trailer on the back, the Tacoma, is just not a great truck to tow. I think mostly it's aerodynamic. Seems regardless of how much weight I have on the back, I end up getting 14 miles per gallon towing. Actually, you know what? I stand corrected. This place is totally doable for my girls' little ATVs. No problem. They'd have to be careful over a few sections, but other than that, they could totally do it. There are some sections, though, in another area that are pretty... I put it in four-wheel drive, so I'm not digging up the trails. stuff like this, these tires are just way smoother. And I did notice that with the Zillas, get a lot of pinging off of the rocks, so you'd feel like the machine was always bouncing side to side. This seems to track pretty straight. Oh yeah, through that. Oh my goodness, doesn't even flinch. Remember these trails. It's only the second time I've ridden here, so be a little cautious. Plus, this is a family trail network, so I'm going around corners. I don't want to bomb around corners. And it's pretty early in the morning. I don't think anybody is out here. There's nobody in the parking lot, but still. Oh yeah, had some air on that one. That was fun. Still, I lack the confidence going over rocks like that. I'm just terrified that it's gonna hit. I've gone over some pretty big rocks and haven't hit, so I know right now I got a foot of ground clearance in the center, so I know I got plenty of room. But still, I tense up like I'm going to scratch the bottom, and I don't have metal skid plates yet. Still the stock plastic ones, but I've you know, knock on wood, I've yet to hit anything. Again, I don't risk it all that much. If I see something questionable, I just slow down and try to go around it, or just proceed with caution over it. This is that river. We'll turn around here. Private property. Whoever owns this property is pretty darn lucky. Beautiful, beautiful river right here. I don't know what river that is, a dam. It's unfortunate that you can't go a little bit farther. Girls would have a really good time fishing over there. Let's see. EMD. I don't know. There's private property. Respect that. Shadows. It's tough to see the details now. tires make it so that you can go so much faster over this chunk stuff. The other thing that helps with these tires, they are 1 inch bigger in diameter. So in theory, the angle that the tire approaches the rocks and chunk is a little bit less, so it should have better rollover. Sort of the whole fat bike theory, or 29-inch tire theory on mountain bikes. Back to the parking area. Is this the parking area? Can't remember. Nope, not yet. I think that's where we came out. Yep, it is. Let's try that. Very happy with my decision so far. First decision was to get rid of that Polaris 850 Touring, which had nothing to do with the fact that it was a Touring and a two-seater. Well, although it was pretty boring to ride. But I just had so many problems with it. Rear differential, transmission, made all kinds of noises in the shop a bunch of times. No one could really see what was going on, figure out what was going on. They ultimately replaced the rear differential because they said it was defective and some of the gears were hitting. The outside of the case was machined incorrectly. They replaced it. The sound seemed to improve, but it still wasn't better. It was making a noise that everybody heard and everybody said wasn't normal, but yet couldn't fix it. So I just didn't trust it. It's unfortunate I can't bring my wife on the ATV now. But this Yamaha, I got almost 300 miles on it. Got through the break-in, replaced the oil, filter, front diff, rear diff. I still need to do the valve clearance adjustment or check. but this thing has been incredible. Yeah, I think it doesn't get as much love as it should, because I think it's still kind of an old school design with the metal racks, and when you look at Polaris and Can-Am, it has all the composite boxes on the front and composite racks, and they do a hell of a lot better job marketing Polaris and Can-Am. But I gotta tell you, this thing rips. As a trail machine, this thing is incredible. The power steering, or electronic assisted power steering, or whatever you want to call it, EPS, yeah, electric power steering, is just unbelievable. I said that in my last video as well, but I can't stress it enough. All the other ATVs I've ridden with the power steering, you either have to adjust them in low, medium, high, like the Polaris. And in low, it's great when you're going fast, but when you slow down, it's really tough when you get to technical sections. And then if you put it on high power assist, it's good for the technical sections, but it's twitchy as hell when you get it above 20 miles an hour on a trail. It just feels like a tiny bit of push on the handlebars makes the thing want to go off the trail. And it's kind of a pain to constantly go into the menu and change it. I wish there was a handlebar mode, a little button that you could scroll through. It'd be much easier, but it doesn't have that, at least not on the one that I had. But this one is speed sensing. Adjusts as you go. So when you slow down, it gives you more assist. When you speed up, it gives you less assist, and it's just perfect. The seat is comfy, it's nimble. I did put a set of Rocks speed effects bar risers on it, because I do ride 90% of the time I ride standing up. And the stock bars had a weird angle. I didn't really feel like I could get myself forward when I was standing up going up hills. So these are more of have less of a taper than the stock bars. Much easier to stand, and I think they're a 1.5 inch higher rise than the factory bars. Which when you stand, you can still have even standing up straight, which is a little bit of bend in my knee. I still have bend in the elbows, which helps me absorb the bumps a lot better. With the stock bars, I felt like standing up in the normal riding position, my arms were straight. It made me felt like I had to squat down more. Which wasn't ideal. If I recall, last time there was a pretty big river crossing over here. It was pretty flooded. I don't know if it was a river crossing or if it was just overflowed. We'll see. But again, yeah, the Zillas were great mud tires for sure. That's what they're designed for. Not terrible trail tires. Certainly very good at the mud, but I'm not a mud guy. I don't avoid the mud, but I don't seek it out. Definitely not a deep mud guy. No interest in putting a snorkel or doing any crazy crap like that. That just beats the piss out of ATVs, in my opinion. But to each his own. Everybody has different riding preference. I have no objection to that. It's just not what I'm into. I think to the right. Where are we right now? Oh yeah, I think to the right was the river crossing, to the left was the real technical section, which is super fun. So we'll go to the right to Bain Road. Take this little trail right there. These both are dead ends, which is fine. Ends up in private property, and Marlow isn't huge. don't know, 10 or 15 miles or so if you do the whole thing. But so well maintained, diverse enough that you could just ride the same trails a few times in the same day and not get bored. At least that's what I did last time, and had a blast. So for me, I think, you know, shy of the 4-hour drive up north, this is my favorite place in southern New Hampshire. Dunbarton riding area is pretty fun too. Pretty well groomed though. There's a few technical trails there, which are pretty nice. And I do like the fact that they're all one way. I plan on taking the kids there pretty soon because I feel very comfortable there with the kids, the trails being all one way. I should say most of the trails being one way. But on a Saturday, the place gets packed. So it's definitely one of those, take the day off middle of the week, take the kids when they're on vacation or on break. Because I do not like crowds. Small stream crossing here. This place is so beautiful. Look at that. How beautiful is that? Wow. An old bridge. Nobody seems to use anymore. It's fine. Looks like it would still hold up, but beautiful place. Even with the bigger, heavier tires on, this machine has no problem getting out of that low range and getting into that sweet mid-range RPM. Just hauls. Definitely not as fast as the 850 Tour, for sure. That thing felt like it was a rocket ship. Twin cylinder. Definitely fast. Is this not fast enough? It certainly is. I mean, I'm hardly ever wide open throttle here. These types of trails. So I never used all the power that 850 had. Ever. And it's still flooded. I think I can get through though. A little bit of a dip there. Just gonna try. Looks deeper than it was the last time I was here. But I think it's mostly, whoa, that is deep. Pushing some wakes. Yeah, no problem. that was pretty deep though. Gotta come back through it on the way back. It's all right. Slow down for puddles, and I probably don't have to 90% of the time, but I didn't slow down for a puddle a few weeks ago, and unfortunately it was about 3 feet deep. Almost went over the handlebars, and thought I had done some damage to my wrists. So if I haven't gone through them already, then I typically try to slow down just so I don't hurt myself. But now that I've gone through all the ones that I've gone through on the way back, I know I don't really need to slow down that much. Just have to remember this time, and at the very end there's like a weird lip. Feet up. Should ride the same line I rode last time. Machine awash. Oh. Well, the engine's certainly going to cool down. Here's that lip. There we go. Not too shabby. I was an old dirt bike rider, probably 25 years ago or so. Started off with an old XL 125 my parents bought me when I was, I don't know, 13, 14 years old. Rode that at sand pits and next town over from where I grew up. When I graduated from college, I bought a CR 250. A couple years later, bought a YZ 250. Rode that, never raced. Was never good enough to race. I was an okay rider, more of a trail rider probably than a motocross rider. There wasn't not a lot of opportunities here to race or even have practice tracks that were within normal driving distance. But I still had fun. Always mountain biked. I guess I would still consider myself a mountain biker today. So two wheels and handlebars, I love. That's why I got an ATV. I prefer handlebars over steering wheels. I know side-by-sides are fun for some people. It's not my thing, it's fine. Not judging, just saying I like handlebars. And this is my first ATV I've ever owned. I've ridden ATVs in the past, but a long time ago. And I wanted to get the girls into off-roading, and I don't think they would have had the patience to ride dirt bikes. I think it would have been too challenging for their patience level. And I think having four wheels, not have to worry about the balance, not have to worry about all that kind of stuff. It's just something they could get on and go. And that's all I expect. I don't expect them to be racers. I don't even expect them to be passionate off-roaders. Just wanted to get out and have fun. The easiest way I figured was ATVs as opposed to dirt bikes. And if I was going to get ATVs for the girls, I figured I'd get an ATV for myself. So I was a little nervous in the beginning that it wouldn't be fun and exciting like dirt biking used to be, and I thought, yeah, I'd be kind of bored of it. You know, not overly challenging because you don't have to balance and that kind of stuff. And man, I couldn't be farther from the truth. ATVing is, to me now, is something I wish I had started long time ago, because it is damn fun. And I think for me, being almost 48 years old, I still like going faster and almost scaring myself a little bit, but not terrifying myself, let's just put it that way. And I think on an ATV I think I can get to that excited stage of riding without really being borderline terrified. I think if I was on two wheels right now going over stuff like this, I think I'd really be, at my age, my confidence level, I'd be pooping my pants right now trying to go over this stuff on two wheels. So for me, very good decision. And you know, ATVing can be boring if you pick the wrong trail systems. If you find places like this that can add some excitement, a little bit of challenge, then yeah, it'd be super fun. Pick the right machine too. Pick the machine for the job. Am I on good? Yeah, I guess. Alright. 18 miles, 1 hour, 38 minutes. Pretty good ride. Marlow ATV. Come check it out.